I'm laughing.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
Why, you little... I got you!
Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah, this movie's been put through the ringer, so I might show a little bit of mercy. A little. You know me, I love to jump down a bad movie's throat, but I will admit I can't do it quite as harshly as you might be expecting for Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Make no mistake, I don't think it's good, but the unique way it's presented does make me appreciate a few aspects of it. A few aspects. When the trailer dropped online, the internet almost surprisingly freaked. Oh, not because it looked especially good, it was in color, the sound quality was bad, and it looked more like a haunted house ad than a movie. I just didn't know there were so many Munster fans out there. Not gonna lie, I'm an Addams Family guy myself. And yeah, I know you can like both, but that kind of gothic, dark humor just appealed to me a lot more. Munsters lean more towards camp and screwball comedy, which is fine as it did it well and with a good heart, but I'd be lying if I said I was an expert on it. And even with that said, I guess the fan base is more passionate than big, as the backlash for the trailer was so loud I assumed it'd have like 1 million views or so. But when I revisited it, I found videos talking about the trailer got more views than the trailer itself. However, this seems to be the movie of the hour, it's Nostalgia-ween, and I have some thoughts on it. So let's not waste any time, because trust me, the movie will do plenty of that. This is Rob Zombie's, as you can clearly tell, The Munsters, which maybe you couldn't clearly tell. The film opens in Transylvania with 2 grave robbers, Dr. Wolfgang, played by Richard Brake, and Floop, played by Jorge Garcia. And literally at the opening credits, we're given one of our main problems. Universal 1440. Okay, so everybody assumed this was a Universal film, which it is, but it's the same division that brought us such classics as Cop and a Half 2, Kindergarten Cop 2, Tremor 6, Child's Play 7, the friggin' Woody Woodpecker movie, need I say more? This is a direct-to-video company that makes cheap-ass spin-offs, and with that in mind, this film suddenly looks a lot more impressive, doesn't it? Keep in mind the studio would not let zombies shoot this in black and white. The sets are actually there and not CG. There's honestly only a few CG shots in this. And this does have a visual style to it, unlike most of these. For all the film's problems, at least it's allowed to leave an impression, unlike many of 1440's productions, which I'm assuming you've never heard of. On that note, yeah, how can you be watching it and not wondering what it looks like in black and white? If you have a TV or a monitor that allows you to watch it that way, definitely do it. It does look better.
Right, pardon me, but may I help you 2 lovely lads with something?
I'll also give Rob Zombie horror filmmaker credit. He made a PG movie. And not just a PG movie, an 80s PG movie. Look at this thing. This isn't PG-13 material, but it clearly isn't a G movie posing as PG either. It's a little gross, and I can see tiny kids being scared by it. And I'm okay with that.
Franz Pennywacker, the world's greatest pianist. I want those phalanges.
If you're confused by this, don't worry, it'll play very little part in the story. Get used to that. Meanwhile, a count in Transylvania Castle, played by Daniel Roebuck, or as I know him, the Hinky guy from The Fugitive.
Hanky.
talks with his servant Igor, played by Sylvester McCoy.
Backs out. I need you to do that thing you do.
I'll get those vertebrae as straight as my great Aunt Elga's knickers.
Yes, I am waiting for him to get out his sonic screwdriver and say, oh hell no, this isn't worth it. We cut to his daughter Lily, played by Sherry Moonzombie, who's going on a date with a Nosferatu vampire who just isn't her taste, to say the least. Hey, if this movie can make nothing but dad jokes, so can I.
You only listed 2 hobbies, the Black Plague and Pestilence, which I thought technically were both the same.
I love them both equally.
So this is an example of the movie not being as bad as the trailer. In the trailer, he's introduced like this.
Remember what happened last time?
He was batty.
I'm gonna go.
Here, he does this long, awkward dance number, where he weirdly barely dances at all, and ends it with this. It's not gonna make everybody laugh, but it is funnier. The sound also isn't nearly as bad as in the trailer.
Through my dead black heart.
I can whip you up a humpy down in the lamb.
Through my dead black heart.
I can whip you up a humpy down in the land.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that.
Though sometimes I bet you wish it was, because some of these subplots are very random. There's Lily's werewolf brother named Lester, played by Thomas Boykin, who owes money to gypsies. And man, they must have really thought this was gripping shit, because they cut back to it quite a bit.
You give me money now, or Bella, chop off your head.
She wants to buy the castle and transform it into a casino/theme
I
park.
give you 2 weeks to get the castle. Afterwards, your head is
The
mine.
castle will be yours, and we can all live happily ever after.
That is what is left for you after our cut.
Don't borrow money from Zoya.
I got a few irons in the fire. I got my feelers out there in the street.
I don't care!
Well, that's gonna make it weird when I cut back to the hinky guy, but yes, I don't care. Because as you put together, this is a prequel. We're watching Wolfgang and Flute build Herman Munster, and we see how he met Lily. We don't even get Eddie Munster in this. So I feel like what a lot of Munster fans would be looking for, them at the house functioning as a silly but surprisingly healthy family unit, is not here. Honestly, after seeing a scientist and hunchback get the wrong brain, scream while giving him life, and having a performance with his creation go wrong in front of an audience, I'm shocked this wasn't Rob Zombie's Young Frankenstein. I know it's not Brooks's either, because he would have made it a samurai film. When Herman is brought to life, played by Jeff Daniel Phillips, he decides he doesn't need Dr. Wolfgang and wants to do comedy.
Herman's here! Look out!
Or whatever this is. Yeah, don't worry, this love for a music career doesn't go anywhere either.
Maybe would you like to come over for dinner one night?
Got to check my schedule.
Oh boy!
Lily and Herman instantly fall in love with each other, and you're either gonna be into these performances or you're not.
When Herman Munster puts his head to something, Herman Munster puts his head to it. Unless it falls off.
Can I confess something?
Please do.
Is this the Herman and Lily Munster from the show with a lot of heart and charm? That's a hard no! But they come across as kind of these warped caricatures of them. Like when Dana Carvey imitates George Bush, it goes so over the top, it kind of becomes its own strange entity that's hard to look away from. And yes, hard not to laugh at sometimes.
Bebop Baloo how low can you go?
What they do get down is how positive they are. These two are so relentlessly upbeat and seem to enjoy everything, especially with each other. Even if half the time I have no idea what they're doing, I like that they like it. But yes, it is very over the top and awkward in a way that would work more in a sketch comedy show rather than a whole movie.
Herman's got the move. Back it up. Back it up. Herman's backing it up.
Yeah. But the same way you can laugh at a dying comedic performance because the comedian is giving it their all, the same I kinda giggle knowing everyone probably laughed hard after every take. There is a joy of performance in this, and it can be infectious, especially for something that's supposed to be campy. But here's the thing, there's a right way and a wrong way to do campy. Batman the movie really works. Batman and Robin does not. I know it's not high praise to compare it to the worst Batman movie of all time, but there is an interesting similarity. Let's pretend you never saw the Batman movies, like this was your first one. You could cut to any 5 minutes of this film and it would be hilarious. It's so weird, so awkward, and so gigantically tacky that it's impossible not to laugh.
The ice cold
of space. Ah! Stay cool, bird boy.
Tell me and I'll kiss you.
Freeze has taken the new telescope and turned it into a giant freezing gun.
Kill the heroes! Yes, kill them! Kill them! Yes!
Admittedly, if I had no idea who Batman was, I'd find this hilarious. But only for about 5 minutes. After that, it gets boring. Where something like the Adam West film understood how to drag it out at feature length and still keep the laughs as well as the engagement going. Munsters, I argue you can watch any random minute, heck, any random couple of seconds and get a laugh for how odd it is.
When they made me, they broke the mold!
With you in it, I presume!
No!
Seems like they've been waiting a while.
Oh, they are dead.
I can't follow the plot of this Woody Woodpecker cartoon. Good night to you, my dear father-in-law.
Oh, darn, darn, darn!
Oh, the faux lizard silk chiffon.
Well, you could, yes.
But that's the problem. It's not a minute long, it's 110 minutes long. And boy, do they start to add up. I want to laugh along with the strangeness, but the strangeness is only one note. The original Munsters was campy, but it was smartly written. There was variety to the jokes, and you legit liked being with them.
You can be black or yellow or white, it doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart.
This is like that comedian you meet at a nightclub who makes you laugh on stage, but then when you really want to talk to him, all he can do is keep telling jokes.
A swinger in the in crowd. I'm no Bobby Darin. What? Yowza, baby! Kick it! I'll come in!
Why are you shouting?
I thought you liked it!
Please stop. Please stop.
After a while, I just kind of gave up and started to admire the set design. Which even then, a lot of people say is too loud and busy. Which I mean, yeah. But there is an art to it. The set feels alive. Again, the fog, the floating, the size of the castle. I feel like most of this would be CG in almost any other film, but they built this all and had to set it all up again for every shot. It has a today's campiness, like something you see on Svengoolie or a haunted house ad. Hell, most people say this looks better than Rob Zombie's actual haunted houses. I don't know, when I hear a guy who made this is gonna adapt this with the people who made this, I just kind of assumed it would look exactly like what we got. But again, it just feels like we're missing some obvious ingredients, like look at this scene where Herman finally proposes to Lily.
Marry me?
You've made me the happiest ghoul in the world.
How the hell are we supposed to feel anything from that? Anytime they start to develop some real chemistry, it's almost like they said, well, that's for real movies. This is us just expensively screwing around.
We have to do something about this situation.
Hey, they quoted the most liked comment in a YouTube trailer. So unlike the original where Grandpa Munster and Herman Munster really get along, Grandpa, or the Count as he's called in this because again, there's never a reason to call him Grandpa, wants to give Herman the axe.
Come on, you know and I know that we gotta get rid of that bozo Herman Munster.
I actually don't mind this because it gives a chance for these two to discover what they like about one another and become friends. But most of the film, he tries to get rid of him and then at some point he just doesn't.
Knock 'em dead.
I'm pretty sure they already are.
It's always good to double check.
Almost as strange as having cameos from Elvira, Dee Wallace, and Butch Patrick, the original Eddie Munster, arguably the most iconic of the living Munster cast members, as this robot tin can man who marries them.
Lily Grusella, you take Herman Munster as your husband until the loss of electricity do you part.
I'm sorry, that is so bonkers. How can you not laugh at that? I guess if I was a diehard Munster fan, I'd be really upset, but just as a random troll move, that really cracks me up. But don't worry, it gets traditionally lame again. Lester tricks Herman to signing over the castle, resulting in them losing it. But they don't figure that out because they're too busy on their honeymoon in Paris looking for a sewer monster. Yeah, that naturally worked its way in.
Oh, he's adorable.
The picture on Crocodile Mile looked more realistic. The Count finds out about Herman's screw-up and interrupts their honeymoon to bawl him out.
Now, thanks to Swervy Curvy here, we are effectively homeless.
About bullshit, Sam.
Yeah, I knew that'd come across awkward if I play another clip from that, but again, it is the theme of this movie. There's only one thing to do, go to Hollywood. I know that invites more of an explanation, but trust me, you're not gonna get much of one.
Hollywood, California. If that guy's a star, imagine what'll happen when they get a look at me. I'm a 10. Zondo's a 7 at best.
After the reactions to this movie, that might not be best. Herman says Igor has to stay behind though, which who the hell is he to tell the Count anything after he mucked up? So the Count creates a potion to turn him into, you guessed it, a bat.
It's not working.
Nothing but the best crafted universal effects that I also have on my computer. They get a realtor played by Cassandra Peterson. Yes, we all know she got famous playing the biker mama from Pee-wee. And they Braniff logo their way to Hollywood, Budapest. And seeing how she invites them during a Halloween party and she said she'd be in a costume, obviously she dresses up as the Wicked Witch of the West.
Greetings from Transylvania.
My God, your makeup's only slightly better than mine.
I'm Herman.
Those costumes really threw me for a loop.
She of course thinks they're in costumes too and naturally shows them to 1313 Mockingbird Lane. And I love how they think that's the house being shown to them, but really it's the pleasant one right next to it.
We're not born yesterday. I mean, some of my parts were, of course, but that's besides the point.
Wait, that makes no sense on several levels. The house does look pretty great, even in color, and when it looks like they're throwing a Halloween block party, they of course fit right in, never realizing everyone's in costume. The local funeral home even offers her a job moving caskets.
Have you fellas heard about the new glass coffins?
Are they successful?
Remains to be seen.
Man, even Fozzie Bear would be like,
Cancel.
What?
Cancel. Cancel the production. Cancel everything.
What about this?
you know, maybe the reason this movie didn't use much CGI is because they knew they'd get quality like this. There's a digital effects crisis, you say? Herman gets ready to go to work and discovers all the people were in costume the night before and they're hideously normal.
Lily! Car 54, where are you?
I knew it. I knew this was the beginning of crossovers in Dark Universe 1440. They tried to get used to their 60s, 2000s modern world, but it's cool. Lester struck it rich and is sharing the money with them. That's it. It's over. Yeah, it felt like the movie went on forever with all these one-note jokes and then suddenly it stops. Like this whole production was just one troll move that only the people who made it understands. I guess they do recreate the Munsters intro because you know what we saw was so identical to the original, and the film wraps up. So yeah, I guess it's not good, but how can you not be fascinated? Yes, this film doesn't work for either fan base because there's either too much Rob Zombie for Munster fans or too much Munsters for Rob Zombie fans. I wouldn't be shocked though if down the road this does get a following for how strange it is. The same people who demand the butthole cut, throw spoons at the room, or dress up for Rocky Horror, I think are gonna find a similar awkward but also passionate delight in this. Rob Zombie clearly does whatever he wants and brings a vision that's usually uncompromising and one of a kind. Because of that though, for every Devil's Rejects, there's a Halloween 2. But in a strange way, I do appreciate that. He does take chances and tries unconventional stuff. Had the film not been so boring with its pacing and writing, maybe I would have gotten into it more, but I think those weird choices are gonna be watched years from now by people trying to understand just what the hell he was trying to do. I much rather see something that takes a crazy risk and fails than something that plays it by the numbers and is passably okay. The best way I can put it is, it's not a good movie, but I'm glad there's somebody weird enough out there to make it. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Back it up. Back it up. Herman's backing it up.